Mr. Speaker, members, this is a very simple one. I simply move to instruct the conferees or the conference committee on HB 1 to exclude any language expending funds from the Economic Stabilization Fund from the conference committee report on HB 1. In other words, this would simply affirm what we already put in our budget, that we ask them to not bring back a conference committee report that expends any additional funds of the rainy day fund, any additional monies of the rainy day fund.
Mr. Speaker, will the gentleman yield for a question?
Mr. King, do you yield? I certainly do.
So, Phil, does this mean we can't spend a penny of the rainy day fund?
No, it simply says, now we've already spent, I think, what, 2.8 or something under HB 4, but the budget that we sent over did not have any additional use of the rainy day fund in it. And this actually just affirms that, and I hope gives the conferees the ability to go to the Senate conferees and say, not only does our House budget not take any more money from the rainy day fund, but we were instructed to maintain that position throughout the negotiations.
Okay, but this means the money that you just spoke about is for the current biennium, and with your motion, we'll be instructing not to spend a penny of the rainy day fund for the next biennium.
Not to spend any additional monies of the rainy day fund in the coming biennium.
No, it's zero from the rainy day fund for the coming biennium.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Did you say zero?
Oh, yeah.
Because we already spent.
Mr. Speaker, will the gentleman yield for
Mr. King, do you
question?
yield? Certainly.
Mr. King, just for clarification's sake, with your directive, you are affirming the House position, and it's my understanding that the Senate version of the budget doesn't use any rainy day fund. As well as
I'm
the
not
House.
sure that's correct. I think they may have some references to it in their Article 9, but you would want to check that out yourselves.
So just to make sure we know the context of this instruction, the rainy day fund was originally created to stabilize essential state services when the economy is destable. In fact, we have an economic downturn. In fact, the name of the fund is the Economic Stabilization Fund. Is that right?
That is the name of it, the Economic Stabilization Fund.
And it was created to shore up essential public services like public education and providing for nursing homes, seniors in nursing homes, when we have a downturn in the economy.
I think it was intended to be a reserve fund, a savings account, a reserve fund for the state of Texas. And the reason I'm concerned about it is even at $6 billion, it's only about 4% of our budget. And I'm very concerned that if we drop below 4% of our budget, it would be exceptionally detrimental to the future of Texas should we run into a need for those funds in the out years.
So we're cutting education by 24%.
Representative Field raises a point of order. The gentleman's time expired. Point of order is well taken and sustained. Chair recognizes Representative Virel to speak in opposition.
Members, I just want to make clear the choice that we're about to make. We are cutting public education by 24%. When you look at all of the funding, not just the foundation school program, but grants that TEA administers, if you look at all of our investment in public education that supports our school children, we're cutting that budget by 24%. With this instruction to the conference committee, we are telling them, do not spend a single dime to mitigate this cut to the quality of our children's education. Now, I recall the last time we had House Bill 1 in front of us, we were told this is a process. Right, Mr. Darby? Jimmy Don? This was a process. And we're just going to send it over to the Senate, and they were going to improve it, and then it was going to go to a conference, and it was going to be better than what we have in front of us. This was supposed to be an effort to move the House Bill 1 to a higher ground. With this instruction, we are telling the
Mr.
conferees,
Speaker.
do not spend a single dime of the rainy day fund. Balance this budget on the backs of our school children. Harm the quality of their education. Turn a blind eye to the grave need that we have as a state to educate our people. Yes, we are growing fast, but we are growing less educated. With this instruction, we are putting the priority of our children aside. This is an irresponsible act.
Mr.
I
Speaker.
ask you to vote against this directive.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask the gentleman a question.
Mr. Villarreal, do you yield?
I will.
Question.
Representative Villarreal, is it not true that some of the estimates are as high as $12 billion what we'll have when we come back because of what's going on with the price of oil?
Yes.
$12 billion when we come back 2 years from now, or those of us who are elected to come back.
The rainy day fund is not one-time money. The rainy day fund is a recurring revenue stream because it is fed by taxes from oil and gas. And we know that gas prices are going up because of the instability in the Middle East. Revenue estimates were very conservative, did not anticipate the rise of oil. This is an irresponsible act because we know that we can do something. We can do something about these harmful cuts to our children's education. And that something is using the rainy day fund.
Representative Villarreal, it's not just our children's education that we're cutting. Are we not also making cuts so deep that nursing homes are concerned that they won't be able to keep their doors open?
Yeah, that is accurate. My district staff were visiting with some healthcare providers, and they were informing my staff that their biggest concern, in addition to the seniors who are vulnerable to losing a safe place in a nursing home, are the many seniors that are going to have to live at home or with a family member that's not prepared to truly take care of them. And we're also cutting the department that tries to protect our seniors and make sure they're not abused in private homes. And so the Department of Family and Protective Services is going to have less
Senator
resources.
Sheffield
to
raises
look
a
after
point of
them.
order. The gentleman's time expired. Point of order is well taken and sustained.
Members, I ask that you join me in voting against this motion.
Okay.